What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? So we're not going to crown the winner from last week on the comments, but this week we have our monthly comment selection. So today's month is May. We're going all the way back to there and we're picking out the best comments that you heathens voted for on the straw polls there. We have a straw poll down in the description so that you can vote for May's dumbass. Now this has to be the best dumbass comment from May, so be sure to select appropriately. You can vote multiple times, so just pick all the ones that you think should be labeled a dumbass. Thank you, heathens, for watching and participating. I hope you guys win those million God points. And if you're interested in these dumbass comments, then please stay tuned. Comments of the day. Prepare to face bump yourself in the next week. Oh yeah, comments. It's been a while since we've done this type of comment thing. Oh man. All right, Stefan the Rainbow Phoenix. Woo, with a name like that, you can't disappoint, am I right? Can you present the 400 Australopithecus afarensis fossils? Otherwise, it's not different from Christians claiming that there were over 500 witnesses of the resurrected Jesus without being able to present those witnesses, and both claims require faith. Okay, so requiring such a number of fossils to actually be in existence in order to prove that they indeed are part of our lineage, or to prove anything about evolution or our common descent or our link with other great apes is rather ridiculous. So you don't need 400 fossils or anything like that. We have fossils of Australopithecus. We know their structure and build and everything like that. We've been able to extract a lot of information from those fossils about our lineage, and we don't need, like I said, 400 of them in order to assert anything. All we need is the one that we found in order to make different discoveries about our lineage. You're just being very fucking ridiculous right now, and I want you to recognize that. Also, it's nothing like the 500 witnesses claim from Paul in the Bible. If you guys don't know, that's from 1 Corinthians 3 through 15 or something like that. This is just a claim that people saw a risen Jesus. The problems with that particular claim, though, are that one, it's just Paul that's reciting, information he got somehow, but still, it's just an anecdotal claim. And two, it would still be a hallucination. So a mass hallucination is totally within the realm of reality. So those two things are not the same. We have physical evidence for Australopithecus. We don't have any evidence for these 500 witnesses. So that's the difference there. You acting like they're exactly the same is real dipshitty. Lou B. Dude, you can't explain gravity, so stop it. Gravity cannot be proven because it's a theory. I'm not into theories. Only scientific facts. 100%. By the way, D. Marble knows what he is talking about. Gravity is pseudoscience. Now that's a fact. I don't know what my voice turned into there. It started out kind of country and then it turned into something I don't even fucking know, but that's where it went. Gravity is a theory, but it's also a fact and a law. Because of the massive amount of evidence that we have for gravity, it is a fact, okay? But there's also a law of gravity that describes gravity's effects in mathematical terms, and then there is gravitational theory, which describes how the, in plain English, it describes how gravity interacts with our reality. So, you're wrong on all accounts here. Just because something is a scientific theory doesn't mean that it's not correct. Scientific theories are built on a multitude of facts. So to say that you don't believe in theories, you only believe in facts, that just doesn't make sense, okay? And no, D. Marble doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. D. Marble's a dipshit, and obviously you follow in his dipshit ways. Azrat Megasha. Gravity doesn't exist, man. Do you want us to understand gravity works while it doesn't exist? Magnetism due to magnets. Fuyo effect of magnets and magnetic matter field exists, but it has no meaning as pushing planets, right? Thanks. Believing in gravity existence is ridiculous, right? I don't know what the fuck you're talking. The only thing that I really grasp from this is that gravity doesn't exist. How can you teach us about gravity if it doesn't exist? So I'll respond to that instead of whatever kind of fucking stroke happened right there right after the first, what is that? It's really just one sentence. I mean, holy fuck. Look at this shit. Like, oh no, there's two because there's an exclamation point and then there's a question mark, but at the end, he's got a comma question mark. So, excellent grammar. But anyways, I'm just going to respond to the first two sentences because the rest of it was a stroke. But yes, gravity does exist. And yes, pins falling or you being able to drop anything and it fall to the ground is proof of gravity. So, gravity definitely exists. And teaching you what the globe model actually says about gravity, I feel like is very important for the discussion. So, stop being a dipshit and don't have a stroke while you're typing a comment. All right. Now, listen, as you people know, I have a very good face protection gear, so we're going to need this today. Liz Morrison says, Globehead, I'll pay you $1,000 if you can show me how you land a plane on the bottom of a ball without turning the plane upside down. Well, you just flip your reference frame the other way, and therefore the plane's no longer landing upside down. Do I get my $1,000? You owe me, Liz Morrison. I'm going to keep track of that. I'm going to write this stuff down. All right, let's see. Liz Morrison, $1,000. Oh, and why tell me about sea levels when you're trying to tell me all the water is a curve? Further proof here. Well, I mean, yeah, we live on a constant curve because we live on a globe, so... Oh, you're not making fucking sense there, Liz. The Philadelphia skyline is clearly visible from Apple Pie Hill in New Jersey Pine Barrens 40 miles away. If Earth were a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, factoring in the 205-foot elevation of Apple Pie Hill, the Philly skyline should remain well hidden beyond 355 feet of curvature. The New York City skyline is clearly visible from Harriman State Park, Bear Mountain, and 60 miles away. If Earth were a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, viewing the Bear Mountain's 1,283-foot summit, the Pythagorean theorem determining distance to the horizon being 1.3 times the square foot of the height in feet, the New York skyline should be invisible behind 170 feet of curved Earth. Okay. So what you're trying to tell me is that you have all these measurements of the from I guess an Earth curve calculator or something, and so you think that the Philly skyline can be completely hidden by 335 feet? Really? I'm not exactly sure of that. Also, you think that 170 feet is enough to hide the New York skyline? Something tells me that that's a little bit of bullshit. And maybe I just need to facepalm myself into next week! Okay, if you still want to believe people walk upside down in Australia, then carry on being a retard. Damn it, why you gotta use the R word, man? Woman, whatever the fuck you are. So, no, I mean, they walk upside down in my reference frame, maybe. But my reference frame doesn't do them any good on the other side of the earth. I mean, just like their reference frame doesn't mean anything to me on this side of the earth. So, yeah, they are walking upside down in comparison to my reference frame, but I get that you don't understand physics, really, so I'm going to give you a pass. Maybe you should, like, take some small physics courses from, like, Khan Academy or something, because I think you need it. So it starts off with a YouTube link. Best way to start off a comment, by the way. If you believe there is water behind a curvature, you drunk or you blind? There is not curvature. You serious National Geography? That's why it is hard to explain to global understand how they can understand flat Earth. Obviously, they don't know what that see with their eyes up up link. No, explain to Global what they saw on that video. You can explain them. I don't know what you're trying to say here, but there's not curvature, you serious National Geography. I'm guessing that you're talking about the Nat Geo thing. I don't know if that is what the YouTube link is, because honestly, I'm not going to click a YouTube link from somebody that can't even, like, write a coherent sentence. But the fact that you're trying to, I guess, imply that it's nonsensical to believe that we live on a globe Earth, and you're trying to disregard the Nat Geo thing with whatever you've put here, that's all I need to know about however you're trying to, like, rationalize a flat Earth here. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think this person is trying to say. The 500-year-old joke is dead. Flat Earth defends itself. All right, Renee. How does it defend itself? Because all of our evidence points away from a flat Earth. Let's test the Globe Earth Society worshippers. Well, the fact that you call us a Globe Earth Society worshippers kind of indicates that you're a dipshit. If you are on the shoreline of a lake and across the lake there's an island that's 60 miles away and its highest elevation is 2,000 feet, how much of the island should you be able to see? How much? I don't know, okay, because you're giving me very vague numbers here. I just simply don't know what you're talking about, so I can't tell you how much would be hidden. But without exact, like, numbers, I'm not going to be able to give you kind of a ballpark figure. So, at that particular, like, set of things, if they are at sea level and whatnot, the hidden target height would be 2,100 feet. So, I don't know if this is an actual situation here, but you would need a lot more information in order to make, a statement about how much would actually be hidden. Because I don't know what the elevation is. I don't know any of that. If it's a lake, it's probably not at sea level, depending on where it is. So you need to, like, give me more information. Well, now you think gravity is real and proven? Lol, the theory of gravity. Gravity is a scientific theory, but it's also a law and it's a fact because of the preponderance of evidence that's out there. But, yes, gravity is real, it is proven, and just because there's a scientific theory of gravity doesn't mean that it's like hogwash or something that I've pulled out of my ass. Let's say I have a 1-year-old and felt like I couldn't cope with being a mother anymore, or it's too stressful for me and an inconvenience now to my life. It shouldn't be no problem for me to go to my doctor for help because all women should have the option / right to kill an unwanted child, right? Or does that only apply to a child in the womb? Whew, there's so many things here. Okay, for one thing, a 1-year-old child is not a fucking fetus. God damn it. And if you can't cope with being a mother anymore, you can give up your child for adoption. You can give up all parental rights, and that child can be adopted into a home that's loving and caring and will raise that child well. There is that option. The option of killing that kid is not on the table because guess what? That's a fucking child, whereas a fetus in the womb is not. Now, in case you guys didn't know, to throw some statistics in here that are actually worthwhile hearing, most abortions occur before the 13-week mark. And when I say most, I mean an overwhelming majority. Like 95% of all abortions occur before 13 weeks, with 65% occurring before the 8-week mark. So the fact that they've drawn a line in the sand at heartbeats that start about 6 weeks into gestation, I mean, it's effectively banning all abortions. That's why it's been called an effective ban on abortions. Also, for like the first 4 weeks, you don't even know you're fucking pregnant. Also, if a woman wants it, then they should take the baby making parts out also, because I know some people that has had 2 or 3 abortions. Oh, okay, Miss I don't even know if it's a miss. It might have been a guy. Who gives a fuck? Your solution is that people should just have hysterectomies if they don't want to have kids? Are you fucking serious right now? Like, goddamn. Like, this goes beyond restricting the rights of women. This is like, oh, hey, just take all the shit out. And then you just won't, you won't have the chance anymore, even if you change your mind later. You always have to have it in mind to have kids in life. Otherwise, you shouldn't be able to fucking get them. Like, seriously, bro? I don't get people like this. I really don't. Also, there's been a lot of pushing this whole idea that women use abortion as birth control. And while that may be like less than 1% of the cases, this whole, oh, I know somebody that's had 2 or 3 abortions. For one thing, you don't know the circumstances surrounding all of those abortions. They could be medically necessary, or they could just have trouble getting pregnant in general, and they have like ectopic pregnancies or whatever. Like, there could be several reasons around those. But also, regardless of however many abortions a single person has, you shouldn't restrict the ability to the ability to have all rights to your body in general. That shouldn't be restricted just because you know a person. Well, if you are not happy with our laws in Alabama, then pack up and leave. You know what's funny is that whenever their Christian values are limited or whatnot in the public spaces or in the government or whatnot, the go-to is never, hey, you might as well go ahead and move. Like, that's never the go-to thing. Or this person would definitely not be like, well, I'm just gonna move the fuck right out of this state. If my kid can't sing God Bless America and pray at the same time across the loudspeakers at school, I'm just gonna move to a state where I can do that. Like, they're never gonna be that person. Eric, fake news. There are many Alabamians who are completely thrilled and ecstatic over the new pro-life law. Babies are finally being protected from fake doctors and hoes that can't keep their pants on. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't go anywhere and not get assaulted visually by this kind of dumb fucking shit. It's not just hoes that are out there getting abortions. This is a basic, like, health thing that all women should have the right to, and men, honestly, shouldn't have a say in whether or not they should have the ability to have an abortion. And that's what's sad about this entire thing, is that, like, most of the people that voted for that particular bill were, in fact, men. And I say most because all of the senators that voted for it were, of course, men. It was actually a woman that sponsored the bill in the first place to be able to challenge Roe v. Wade. So this is not like a man versus woman type thing or anything like that. This is more like Christian crazy-ass right versus rational fucking reasonable people, which would include other Christians, even some Christians on the right, I'm sure. So that's what we're facing here. Crazy-ass radical Christian right people versus the rest of the population. You have proved absolutely nothing. Water is flat. Gravity is a theory. NASA lies. How do you possibly get so many views with such a pointless video? Thanks for proving nothing, buddy. Well, basically, people love to watch train wrecks, and every Flurf video is a fucking train wreck, so people can't help but to watch and not look away. That's why Flat Earth videos do so well on YouTube, because people always want to look at other people that are obviously dumber than they are. Like here, the fact that you said that gravity is only a theory is just hilarious to people because it's like one of those train wrecks. You obviously don't know anything about what a scientific theory is, so it's just amazing that you know how to work a fucking phone or computer. The Earth, land, is not flat. The surface of water is flat and level when at rest. This is a simple fact within properties of water. Next fact, relativity is a theory and yet supersedes gravity because gravity is a copycat pseudoscience, plagiarism of Coulomb's law of electrical forces. Another fact, the surface of the Earth is comprised mostly of water. Fun fact, land, Earth, is above sea level. Fact of the day, horizon has the same perspective everywhere on Earth. Globe? Question mark? Why are you smiling and then say globe in quotation marks? And then there's a question mark at the end of that. I don't understand the grammar of this entire little section. Horizon doesn't work too well on a globe, does it? Actually, the horizon does work well on a globe. Where the horizon actually doesn't work very well is a flat Earth. Because obviously, there shouldn't be a horizon on a flat Earth because the flat Earth is flat. You should be able to see clear across it. There shouldn't be a horizon on a flat Earth. You know, I never really considered that until now. But the fact that there is a horizon means that the Earth is curved. And, you know, to discuss your little Coulomb's Law thing here, it's impossible for Coulomb's Law to actually plagiarize gravity or Newton's Law of Gravitation. Because Newton's Law of Gravitation actually popped up around 1687, whereas Coulomb's Law didn't pop up until 1785. So it's literally impossible for gravity or Newton's Law of Gravitation to plagiarize something in the future. And while they do seem to have a similar form, they were actually describing very different things that happen in reality. Okay, so this one's not a comment on the actual, channel, but I still felt like it was funny enough to bring up here. I'm not sorry! The next female that tries to whip her boob out to breastfeed in front of my kids will get a black eye! Move that baby because I'll punch it too! Okay, I get that you don't like women breastfeeding in public, but hey, I'm not a woman, so it's not really any of my business. But to say that you would also punch a baby? Oh my god. How fucking dense are you? And finally, today in the comments, we have this dumbass. By that same logic, you must assume it's possible he did rise from the dead. By the way, we have witness testimony, dummy. No, we don't have eyewitness testimony to Jesus rising from the dead. All of those eyewitness testimonies are actually fabricated. They come many, many years later, and they're not based on actual eyewitness testimony or anything. They're actually based on the scriptures at the time, which would have been the Old Testament and probably Paul's writings. So we actually don't have any eyewitness testimony, but also none of the logic that I used in this particular video where I debunk 8 facts about Jesus, none of that logic could be used to say that, yeah, Jesus rose from the dead, because you would need a lot of evidence to even suggest that, and we just simply don't have kind of evidence that we would need to conclude that Jesus actually rose from the dead, or, let alone, in my opinion, that he even existed. Oh man, there is a really great selection of dumbasses for the month of May. If you will, hit that straw poll down in the description, let me know who you voted for down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of dumbass material. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice, and I will see you